In a recent video, I started talking about how much I love reusing patterns. And I do. I really do. You know, sometimes with sewing patterns, it's an enemies to lovers story, you know? You fight each other, you shed blood, sweat, and tears. It is a struggle to get through, but you finally reach the other side and you are so proud of the item of clothing you made. You're like, wow, actually, this is a pretty amazing pattern. And sometimes you fall in love with a pattern immediately and start making it 14 times back to back, just not stopping, like you're a cursed figure in Greek mythology. And a lot of the times I find myself on that side of the coin. And just to interject here really quickly, because you might be thinking, wow, Allie, at least you save a lot of money not buying new patterns. No. Let's be clear. I have 3 hobbies in no particular order: sewing, fabric collecting, and pattern collecting. They all exist independently. They have very little to do with each other, honestly. And I consider myself lucky to have built up a repertoire of patterns that I really love and really enjoy going back to, but also reimagining in slightly different ways. And someone actually left a comment, I'm so sorry, I can't remember who it was or which video it was, saying that they would be interested in a video of me sharing my favorite patterns. And that got me thinking about what patterns I sew the most, wear the most, and also little things that I like to do so that I can kind of maximize each pattern. But aside from giving you a visual representation of the part of my brain that says, sure, we could go out and do something new and fun and exciting this weekend, but let's just sit on the couch and play video games and drink kombucha instead. Why mess with a good thing? I also want to show you how I hack these patterns so that I don't look like I'm stuck in a Groundhog Day level time loop, just wearing the exact same clothes over and over and over. You know what I mean? Like, for example, even take this dress that I'm wearing right now. The pattern didn't come with this giant bow on the front. That's something that I added, but it kind of defines the dress. So I use the same pattern to make this dress as this dress, but I don't think that people look at that and think, oh, those are like exactly the same thing. They're different enough that you can kind of get away with it, you know what I mean? So today I am going to show you some of my favorite sewing patterns in hopes that it will inspire you to maybe try something new, or maybe just showing you the different ways that I kind of hack and tweak the patterns will inspire you to go back to a pattern that you really love and just make it a little bit different. I am actually thinking about making a video on how to maximize your sewing patterns. So just kind of showing you little things you can do to kind of tweak your pattern so that you don't feel like a cartoon character who has an entire closet full of the exact same outfit every single day. Even if you are using the same patterns. I promise, there's ways. So some might call this video showing you my unhealthy obsessions. Let's call it showing you the creative possibilities. And let's get into it. We are going to start with one of my favorite tops of all time. This is the Bubble Frock by Lydia Naomi. And listen, I just love a baby doll top. I think that it is so cute. I think that it works so well in most seasons, maybe not winter. I think that it's so adorable. I love that, again, especially in the hotter months, you get a little bit of ventilation, but it's just so fun and feminine looking to me. And I just love a baby doll top. I have made this pattern at least 3 times. I think that I have more in progress, but I may not have actually finished them. So I have this pink one, which I love. I wear this all the time, honestly. If you know me in real life, you have definitely seen me wear this. But you can see this one has some nice thick bows for sleeves. This red gingham one, which I made for 4th of July this year, has bows too, but they're sort of thinner straps. And then this brown gingham one, I bought this brown gingham bedsheet, and honestly, it was one of the fabric choices that I kind of regretted. I'm like, what the heck am I gonna make with this? I tend toward very colorful fabrics. I don't really do a lot of brown or neutrals. And so I got the idea to do sort of this corset strap so that I could add a little bright blue bow in it and sort of bring in a little bit more color that way. But you can see I added in these eyelets, grommets, whatever they're called, to string the bow through. And again, it's just sort of a unique detail that makes it a little bit different, but still super cute and not a difficult hack at all. This pattern is easily one of my go-tos when I just want a cute top. Up next, we have the Flora top by Sewing Amore. And this is one of the patterns that, yes, obviously I have made a couple of times. Everything on this rack I have made at least twice. Most of them I've made at least 3 times. One of them I am making it for the 6th time, and we will get to that one. So I've only made the sleeveless option for this. It does come with short sleeves and long sleeves. And the long sleeves in particular, I think would be so cute for fall. And these two aren't drastically different from each other, but I do think that it is worth noting how much just choosing a different fabric can give a piece of clothing such an entirely different feel. So for example, I made matching shorts for both of these, but the floral one looks like pajamas. And the red one actually looks like a very chic, fun, summery outfit. And it's also a very easy sew. The red one I sewed literally the night before vacation. It was already dark out when I started this, and it did not take very long to finish. So if you're in a pinch and you just want a cute top, this is a good pattern to go to. Up next, we have the Adrian blouse by Friday Pattern Company. And let me tell you guys, I am obsessed with this. So far, I have made it in 2 florals, so they do look pretty similar, I will admit. But the thing that I really love about this pattern is that I think that it's so great to use as kind of an elevated basic. If you look at it, it is very simple. It is not complicated. It is also an extremely quick sew. I made both of these in like an hour or two, 3 tops. I don't remember exactly, but they are both very quick projects. They're both very simple, but I think that the puff sleeve and sort of the lower neckline gives it a special kind of elegance. So if you made this in just a plain white, which I am planning to do, or black, then it can just sort of elevate a casual outfit just to make it a little bit more special. Like consider this instead of just a plain white t-shirt, in my opinion. Okay, and next, this is a newer pattern, but it is one that I love. I have already made this pattern 3 times in less than a month. And that's partially because it is a very quick and simple, straightforward pattern, but it's also because I just love the way that it looks. And again, I love the different options you have with this. So you can see I sewed this green version sleeveless as just sort of a knit vest, and it just kind of looks like a tank top, but again, the buttons and the finishing make it look a little more elevated than just a standard tank top. It has very sort of a 90s Monica Geller vibe to it to me. I love it. I think that it's so cute. I sewed this red cardigan, which I think is so perfect for fall. It's so vibrant and beautiful and just a great cozy little layer. And then I sewed this blue one, again, just to sort of keep me cozy around the house. But you can see that instead of buttons, I added a little bow to this one to give it sort of a coquette vibe. And again, keep it a little different than the red one. Little things like bows instead of buttons or buttons instead of zippers. Things like that can be an easy way to make the same pattern a little bit different. And this pattern in particular, it comes with a lot of different options. I've only made the cropped version, but they have a cropped version, they have a hip length version, they have a floor length option, which let me tell you, I will be making the floor length option at some point, and I'm very excited for it. And they also have sleeveless, short sleeved, and long sleeved options. So again, one simple pattern that you can get great mileage out of. The longer, warmer ones, especially if you use a thicker fabric, this is great for cold weather, whereas the sleeveless option is perfect for like spring, summer when it's a little bit warmer out. Up next, we have my favorite elasticized short pattern, and that is the Danny short by True Bias. Listen, especially as someone who lives in a tropical climate, an elasticized short is kind of a must-have. You know, it's sort of a wardrobe staple. I mean, I don't know if I have too much to say about this pattern. It's just a great, simple shorts pattern. It fits me really well, which obviously, love that. It has pockets, which is an absolute necessity. Very easy to make, very cute. I've kind of been reaching for it every time I have to make a pair of shorts for vacation. They also have a different version, which I haven't done yet because I am a coward when it comes to buttons. But they have a version that's more of a boxer shorts where I think they do have like some sort of flap or something and you sew buttons. I think they're kind of faux buttons. I don't think you have to actually make button holes, which is my big hang up with buttons. But still, I need to get over that fear and make that version someday because that is very cute. And I love when a pattern has a little bit of variety in it. But I simply have not made that version yet. Oh, I think that there's also a long pants option with this pattern if you're interested in that. But I do have my favorite elasticized long pant pattern coming up in a second. But I've actually made this 4 times. I only have 3 of them here now. I couldn't find the other one. But yeah, love this pattern and I highly recommend it. Up next, we have the Sorel shorts by Vicky Sews. And I mean, come on, are these not the cutest shorts you've ever seen? I love the little details in this. I love the little scallops on the bottom of the shorts, as well as the little ruffle. I think that they're such a dainty, feminine, a level above a basic short. I think that's kind of what I'm aiming for with a lot of these patterns, is just kind of elevated basics, you know? Something that I can play with, but something that truly works in every day. Because like I said, these aren't just the sewing patterns that I've used the most, these are also the sewing patterns that I wear the most. And so not only are they pretty, but they're practical. I really love how they fit. I love that they have a little bit of flair to them. I feel like, honestly, I think they look more like a skirt than shorts. And I absolutely love them. Cannot recommend this enough. Okay, next, I will admit, this sewing pattern has become an unhealthy obsession for me, and that is the Sunrise Skirt by Jessie Lou Closet. I am telling you, I made this yellow plaid version only a few weeks ago, and I have worn it out so many times. It is so cute. It's adorable for fall, but again, I think that it'll also work really well in like the spring, summer. You know, I love having shorts underneath a skirt, especially as someone who loves mini skirts. I love being able to sit down without worrying that I'm flashing. I like being able to move freely. And I think the way that these shorts are built into this skirt is so cute because you can see just a little peek of the shorts where the panels tie together. I don't know, I just think that it's such an adorable touch. I love the little bow on the side. I love that it's kind of a simple A-line skirt, so you can wear it with a bunch of different tops, a bunch of different shoes. You can layer it. I'm just obsessed. I made this yellow plaid and immediately I had this scraps of this green gingham that I did want to make a skirt with actually, but I've kind of been trying to find the right pattern for a while. And so I basically turned around and immediately made a green version of the skirt. And I do think that the green version, especially when I was making it, I was actually wearing like a dark green hat with a shamrock on it. Unintentionally, it did read very St. Patty's Day. And I do feel overall it might be a little more spring, summer than fall, but still so adorable. And again, truly, this yellow plaid, so perfect for fall. Cannot, will not stop wearing it. And I will be making more versions of this too. I didn't make many hacks to this version, at least that you can see. The only difference is, according to the pattern, the zipper is in the front. And I don't love that look. I think she just did it because there is also an option for you to make it with shorts in the back. Just personally, I'm not a fan of skirts that have shorts in the back. It just feels like kind of wearing a mullet. I just don't love the look. And so I prefer the version where you can have just a full skirt all the way around. But doing that, I really don't like the zipper in the front. So for the second time I made it, I did put the zipper in the back instead. And I just like that a little bit better. And up next, we have the sable skirt from the Sable Set pattern by Erin Ford. This is another one that's so basic, but again, just look at these two skirts, two very different vibes depending on the fabric that you want to use. I think that it's so fun. I think that a tiered ruffle skirt is just such a great go-to. I love the look of them. And I have other fabrics that I want to make this skirt out of. It also comes with pockets, which is always a fun little addition. You can go make all of your friends who buy their clothing at stores jealous by showing off your big, beautiful pockets. And yeah, I think that this is such an easy, wonderful go-to skirt pattern. It's breezy, or if you make it with like a plaid, it can be very autumnal. Again, a lot can change just based on the fabric that you use. And we are ending the bottoms with one of my favorite pants of all time. These are the Saguaro pants by Friday Pattern Company. And I actually did not realize until I was pulling the clothes for this that every version I've made has been in a stripe fabric, including this blue zebra stripe version, which is fun and soft, but goes with nothing. I don't know what to tell you. I love a long striped elastic waist pant, although I do always kind of worry that they look like pajama pants. But still, I think that they're breezy. I think that if you wear that with the right top and accessories, it actually looks kind of casually elegant. I think that they're very fun and they're just so easy to throw on. You can wear them around the house. You can wear them if you're going out. Everyone needs a couple of good pairs of elastic waist pants in their closet. And like I said, Saguaro pant by Friday Pattern Company, easily my favorite. I love that it has these little peekaboo pockets. I don't know what they're called actually. They're not inseam pockets, but I feel like that also prevents them from looking too much like pajamas, you know? They fit me really beautifully. I don't know. I could keep talking, I guess. But just the point is, this is one of my go-to patterns. I love it so much. And if you haven't tried it, I highly suggest you do. Sorry, the sun is going down, so lighting may be a little weird. Okay, up next is a dress pattern that I have used a lot. But I also wanted to show this to you because I just wanted to give you an idea of how using different notions can really transform a dress. This is the Capulet dress by Stitch Witch Patterns. And you can see I have made this blue gingham version, which is very cute and very summery. And I absolutely love it. I wear it with sandals and sunglasses in the summer, and I wear it with boots in the fall. And either way, it looks super adorable. But I also have this version, which very different vibe. This is a Christmas dress that I made a couple of years ago. And again, same pattern. You can see the similarities. However, I've added lace to the end of the sleeves. I don't think that it actually has these panels. Yeah, it doesn't actually have panels. It just has darts. But I sort of hacked it to create these panels and to run so that I could run this lace all the way down the front of the dress. I also added some sort of snowflake looking buttons. Whoops, sorry, lost my microphone. My microphone just fell into my bow. That's actually very convenient. I should wear this dress when I go to the movie theaters. That way the popcorn can just fall into the bow and it'll just be like I have an additional popcorn bucket instead of having to like dig down my shirt. You know what I'm talking about. We've all done that, right? Anyway, I also added this faux fur trim at the top and bottom of the dress. And so I took what could be a very summery pattern and made it into my little winter wonderland dress. And if you're somewhere where wearing a mini dress isn't possible in the winter, you can hack it into a maxi dress. That's my whole point. You can use this same pattern and just make little tweaks to make an entirely different outfit. But again, this is a go-to pattern for me. I love how simple it is. It's just a little mini skirt with a fitted bodice and adorable puff sleeves. If you're an adventurous sewing beginner, like you can sew this pattern. It's not difficult, I promise. I believe in you. I also use the Capulet pattern because it has a long sleeve version, and I used that to make a Princess Peach costume that I wore to Orlando Comic Con when I went with my cousin. Quick shameless plug, all of that stunning artwork you see behind me was actually created by my cousin. You should check her out on Instagram at BrittanyAnnArt, and I'll leave a link to her shop in the description in case you happen to enjoy adorable Disney-style fandom art, or if you know someone who does. The holidays are coming up and they make great gifts, that's all I'm saying. And I also used it to make my Christmas dress last year, but unfortunately I couldn't find all of the components to it, so I'm just going to throw some pictures up so you can see how cute that version was as well. And I did just want to show you very quickly with the red version of this dress. What I did was, instead of gathering the skirt like I did for my other versions, is I just did these pleats at the front. So again, simple hack, gives it a little bit of a different look. And up next, we have the Emma dress by Friedleys. I love this dress pattern so much. I have to restrain myself from just making it over and over because honestly, at my heart, I am a simple girl. This is just such a good base that you can make so many cool things out of. So I made this beautiful yellow maxi version. I made this polka dot midi version, and I made this gorgeous version out of a thrifted Ralph Lauren bedsheet. Every time I put this one on, it makes me feel like an American princess. Cannot, will not explain, it simply does. These other two, I made the straps adjustable, but this one I used the straps just as they are in the pattern. So it's a little bit thicker and non-adjustable, but I really love the look of it. These ones I just wanted adjustable straps because they were supposed to be more sort of summer sundresses. But you can add ruffles to the bottom, and truly, if you're just starting to sew, this actually is about as simple as it gets. It's princess seams, so literally all you have to do is sew the dress panels together, sew the facing, add the facing, sew in a zipper, add the straps, hem it. Like, it's about as simple as a dress can be, and I do highly recommend this pattern. Up next, we have the Cora dress by The Socialites. Although her shop name might be different. I'll put it below if it is. Oh, by the way, links to all of these patterns will be in the video description. This is just another pattern that I kind of gravitate to. I feel like it's one of those that has very different vibes depending on the fabric. So like this rainbow gingham is very fun and springish and playful. And then this maxi polka dot, I think, has a much more elegant feel to it that I really love. I have more versions. I don't know where they are right now. But I recently made a red and black polka dot version that I think is sort of a fun date night look. And yeah, I love how this is a little bit halter top baby doll. It kind of exists in that middle ground. And I just think that it's a really beautiful, pretty simple pattern. Like I can whip one of these up in just like a few hours or so. And I love that. You know, sometimes you need a little break from the hard projects and you just want to make something simple while you listen to your romantasy audiobook, which by the way, I'm on the last book of the Throne of Glass series. I've enjoyed it for the most part, but I will say it is such a long series and I am kind of excited for it to be over. Okay, this next pattern I kind of debated including because unfortunately you cannot buy this pattern anymore. The designer doesn't sell it, which stinks. However, I did decide to include it because I love it. I've made it so many times. And I do have some alternative patterns so that you can make something very similar. And so inclined, you could hack it to look exactly like the dresses that I'm about to show you. Or if you're interested, I can show you how to hack a similar pattern to make exactly what I'm about to show you. But let me show you what I'm talking about. So these are not only some of my favorite dresses, but they are some of my most complimented. And I've also used this pattern to make a lot of very simple crop tops. But this is the Fior dress by Natsab AU. I'm guessing that's how it's pronounced. She also goes by @NatalieMadeThis on Instagram. But like I said, unfortunately, she does not sell this pattern anymore. So let me show you exactly what it is. So essentially, it's a baby doll maxi dress. And then in the back is kind of special because it has this elasticized panel in the back, so it's nice and adjustable. And it also has this elasticized skirt, so it's sort of open in the back, which makes it a little more fun and interesting and very, very cute. So if you want to make this dress, the Bubble Frock by Lydia and Naomi, which I showed you earlier, that's pretty similar. The big difference, aside from the elastic in the back, this pattern has panels in the front. So I don't know if you can really see, but there are two vertical seams that run here and here to form the front, whereas the Bubble Frock has a horizontal seam that goes all across the front, which is obviously totally fine. But it does, if you're doing a pattern like gingham, obviously it is possible, but you just have to be a little bit more careful if you're trying to align the fabric pattern. But you could also do the Daphne dress by Sew Mason. I think that's the shop name. That's a little more similar in that it does have very similar construction. It is also panels in the front. Actually, I was taking another look at the Daphne dress and it already has an elastic panel in the back. So if you just add an elastic to the top of the back skirt instead of sewing it to the bodice, it's a dead ringer for the dresses that I made. If you want some sort of tutorial, let me know. I am always open to making this dress again. But yeah, so I have made this yellow gingham with little ruffles on the bottom. This was actually, I made this out of a Martha Stewart bed sheet, which already came with the ruffles, which was so convenient. This is the first version that I made, and I love it. I get compliments every single time I wear this. It is so stinking cute. I also made this version, which is a little bit more of a midi length. I made this out of a skirt that I thrifted. It was a maxi skirt, but it was super long. It was like 3-4 inches too long on me. And so I made it into this gorgeous tropical dress. And let me tell you, I love this so much. Every single time we go on any kind of beach vacation, this is in my suitcase. It's so breezy. It's so cute. I love how bright and fun it is. Next, I call this my Bridgerton version. And this is a lot like the Daphne dress. In fact, I actually used the sleeves from the Daphne dress to make this version. You can just see in the back, I did a little lace up instead of the elastics, although I kept the elastics in the skirt. And again, the baby doll in the sleeves just gives this very much a Regency, Jane Austen, Bridgerton, diamond of the season kind of vibe. I made this from a thrifted bed sheet, and I love the floral pattern on this so much. I think that it was so beautiful and so elegant. And I really wanted to make something that included a pink ribbon to sort of bring out the pale pink roses in this. You can see, I wish that you could see like the light blue flowers a little bit better, but we threw a Jane Austen themed baby shower for my cousin-in-law a few months ago. And I made an entirely new dress because of course, any occasion to make a new dress, I'm gonna make a new dress. But I brought this one and my sister actually ended up wearing it. So this did get used. I also wore it in my intro for the Jane Austen dress video. So maybe go check that one out. I think it's a lot of fun, especially if you're a Jane Austen fan. There are a lot of Jane Austen jokes. The audio's not great. I'm sorry. I am still learning and it's gotten better, but I'm sorry about that. And finally, at like the beginning of summer, I made this kind of halter top version. I was at the thrift store and I just happened to spot this bed sheet. And immediately I was like, I need to buy that and make something out of it right now. And I did. I bought it and immediately I took it home and started making this dress. And I kind of like this pattern specifically because I love that it allowed like these big florals on the front to really have their moment. It has sort of like a summery, beachy vibe to it, especially with the halter top. I think that it worked really well. Absolutely loved it. Zero complaints, zero notes. One of my faves. Oh gosh, the lighting is getting so bad. I'll see if we can push through. And finally, the pattern that I have used the most, no contest. I have made it 5 times. I will be making it again. It is the Sharon dress by Vicky Sews. You may have seen this coming if you watched my fall wardrobe essentials video because I gave a lot of examples how I made it before and I made it again. One thing that I really love about this pattern is that it does go to show how you can use one pattern and make each iteration different. Because yes, I have made this 5 times and 2 of them are identical, but for the most part, they're all a little bit different. So for example, last December, I used it to make this adorable Christmas dress. I found this tablecloth at the thrift store and obviously I needed to make a dress out of it immediately. Like just look, not only do you have these adorable Christmas trees on the bottom, you have like these little ornaments and bows and all of these cute Christmas imagery. I love this so much. So the main difference with this one is that I left out the collar and I also added lace around the neckline and the sleeves. And I think it turned out so stinking cute. So if you don't want a collared look, you can do a non-collared look. I also used the bodice portion to make this little Ravenclaw student outfit for when we went to Universal. I'm so happy with how this turned out. I added bell sleeves. One, I love a bell sleeve. I am a bell sleeve addict. And I feel like it also added a little bit of whimsy, which, this is supposed to be like a magic school. Of course, you need a little bit of whimsy in your uniform. I'll throw up some pictures of me actually wearing it at Universal, but I added some little trim on the ends of the sleeve that matched the tie and the skirt that I was wearing with it. I love how this one turned out. And I'm planning to make another top like this before fall is over. Just a non-costume version. I also made this little baby Yoda version. The buttons are little stars. I wore this when my cousin and I went to Corpus Christi Comic Con with my white go-go boots, and let me tell you, I felt like the cutest chick in the galaxy wearing this. Also, I love Baby Yoda. I know his name is Grogu, okay? I don't care. It's Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda forever. He will never grow old in my mind. Oh, I also have my Miss Frizzle costume, which I know is around here somewhere. I had it not long ago, but I couldn't find it while I was getting everything ready for the video, so I will insert something about it here. So yeah, this was my Miss Frizzle Halloween costume a couple of years ago. So basically, I just left out the collar, added in some long puff sleeves, and obviously painted planets and astronauts and all sorts of little space-inspired doodles all over it. And finally, this is my most recent version, which I am in love with. Is it fallish? Maybe not, but I made this in my fall wardrobe essentials video. And I think that it's so cute. I think that the collar is very playful. I love the little pleats in it. Again, it's kind of schoolgirl, but in kind of a toned down way. I just think that it's very cute. It's very simple. And I just feel adorable wearing it. And what more could you ask from your sewing patterns? Okay, I'm probably definitely gonna have to refilm this because it is so dark. And also my throat is sore from talking so much. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please give it a like up. If you like this, please give it a thumbs up. It's a simple thing, but it really helps me out. And also, if you like sewing and style and creativity, please subscribe. I make a lot of this sort of content. I think that you would really like it, and I would love to have you around here. If you have any video ideas, any things that you would like me to make, please let me know. Like, I'm so open to ideas and suggestions, and I want to know what you guys are curious about and what you want to see. Also, let me know if you would be interested in a video where I explore more different ways that you can maximize your patterns by hacking them and really get the most out of a single pattern. That's it. Running out of daylight, and I still need to walk the dog, so I'm gonna go run off and do that. But thank you again so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye. Can you still even see me? I look grainier than a bowl full of rice. Oh gosh, that was a bad analogy. That was too easy. I look grainier than a silent movie. I look grainier than a Charlie Chaplin movie. Is that better? Please like, please subscribe. Love you. Bye.